Hey, good afternoon. This is Dennis. It's Star Power Baseball coming to you from the Cincinnati Razorback Room in the heart of beautiful downtown Siloam Springs, Arkansas. The date today is May the 12th. It's warm outside, a blustery 90 degrees out there, and I'm inside the studio here today, and we're going to do a video recording today of Star Power Baseball. And as you can see up on the screen, today's video is going to be about the event card. That's right, the event card. We're going to discuss this, and we're going to show you the things that can happen in the event card. A lot of different things that this card is used for, but the first thing that we use it for is the injury. Okay? Before a game starts, you spin this card. If it lands on the one up here, this thing right here, the big red one right there, there will be an injury in the game. Any other number, there will not be an injury. This is a 10%, that is 36 degrees. So you don't have to worry about it happening every game unless you're that guy and spin it all the time. If it does not land on the one, proceed with your game as normal. If it does, you will spin it once again and refer to the second ring, this one that I'm circling right here. You'll work with that ring right there, and that will tell you when the injury will occur. If you're going to have an injury and it occurs, let's just, where I'm at, V3 right there, before the visitor's third inning begins, then you will find the result of the injury. Okay? Before that inning. That way, if you have H9 and there is no H9, this will be a post-game injury. Okay? Something that happened to somebody during the game that might affect them throughout the rest of the game, or the series, or even a season if you're playing a season. Okay? If all you're playing is one game, if you get H9 on there and there is no H9 because the visitors are losing by 4, 5, 6 runs, do it in the V9. It's pretty simple. Just do it then. Or you can ignore it. That's up to you guys. I mean, it's totally up to you. It does not matter to me one way or the other how you do it. It just, if you like injuries, and it's a fun thing to do. Okay. After you have determined when the injury will take place, before that inning begins, you will spin it one more time, and that will be using the inner white circle down here. In the inner white circle, it will be divided into positions. DH, catcher, pitcher, first, second, short, third, left, center, and right. It also says H and V. The H is for the home team. The V is for the visiting team. That's simple. It'll be that player that's going to be affected by the outcome on the injury card. Okay? So we spin a 1. We spin visitor's third. We spin it again, and it says home catcher. C is for catcher. So now we're in the top of the third going into it. We've spun it. It's going to be the home catcher. We respin the outside now to determine what the result is. And the result's going to be injury events, pregame injury for a position player, or if it's a pitcher, you'll use this chart right here. Okay? This one for a position player, this one for a pitcher, and they are different. Okay? Outside circle spins a 2. Minor bruise, player will miss the remainder of this game. On the pitcher, you can see that right there, minor bruise. Okay, if it's a pitcher, it says slips on wet grass, lose 1 pip this game. The pip, pitcher performance points, what that is will be like if he gave up a hit or a walk, you'll turn the dice 1 pip. So if it's on 3, it will now go to 2. If it's on 12, it'll go to 11. You know, you lose 1 pip. Okay? I like the number 3 on this on the pitcher. Too much heat right here. Too much heat, you lose a respin. I just think that's quite cool. We go, what if he doesn't have a respin? Okay, he didn't lose anything. He just hot. On a number 4, the catcher's awesome. Gain a respin this game. How about that? Number 4 down here. You'd be gaining a respin. All kinds of cool stuff that we came up with on this injury chart, both good and bad. So sometimes it's not an injury, sometimes it's an enhancement. Okay, another time that you will use this event card is if a batter gets hit by a pitch. I use it every time a batter gets hit by a pitch. Do you realize that's where most injuries in baseball today occur, either on the bases with a runner pulling a hamstring or a groin, or a hit by pitch? And you can see the numbers here. Something could be really bad, okay? Like a 6. It's worse than we thought. These people will have this nagging injury longer than expected. Spin on the event card and add this result to the number of games that he will have this nagging injury. He will have this nagging injury for that period. Okay, say nagging injury, all right? Let's see. No, hit batter. Okay, that's a nagging injury. Hit batter, number 5, warning to both benches, etc. Okay, now we look at this nagging injury. Look at this nagging injury. It's worse than we thought. Let's see if I can get a better view there. Let's go to view, and let's go to vertical. That'll show it to you a little bit better on the page here. Okay, just a tad. There we go. We'll take that, move it over there. You can still see the event. All right, now, on a nagging injury, you can really see it well here. On a nagging injury, you must spin before each game during the time of the nagging injury. And it's listed, like if we go back up to here, 6 is a nagging injury for the next 3 games, okay? This one here, this one he did nagging injury for 5 games. You go up here, nagging injury for 5 games. So on a nagging injury, before every game, the player that has a nagging injury, you have to spin on this. On a 1, he misses the game. 2, nothing happens. 3, player misses this game. Nothing happens, nothing happens. It's worse than we thought. Nothing happens. It's a miracle. The injury goes away. You never need to spin that again. Nothing happens, player misses the game. Nothing happens, player misses this game and the next game. Okay? So now you see what a nagging injury can do. Okay. The next thing that our event card is also used for, let me go back to the view of side by side here. Okay. The event card, let's go back to the table of contents. We don't have a table with us, do we? Okay, the event card is also used for replay, instant replay. Whether you're using it, it's a really cool thing to use. It's right here. Let me change that now to the big view. Here you go, vertical. Instant replay. Whenever the result is a line or spin, any spin landing on the line, any type of card, including home field advantage. The player with the advantage, without the advantage, the disadvantaged player gets to choose, the player with the advantage gets to choose the 2 results. We know that. We call this the call on the field. All right. If the person losing that spin, the one that doesn't get the advantage, doesn't like that call, once per game, one time per game, he can challenge that call, throw the red flag. This could be any result on any card, including strategy cards. If the result's a line or spin, the challenge must be made before any new spins are made. Okay? Before you do any new spin. So if you're going to do if you spun a 110 line or a 110 line and the pitcher spun a home run minus, Let's just make it real simple. You spin a 13-4 line. And let's pull one up. Let's pull an offensive card up real quick here. Let me get you an offensive card. Baseball cards. You can tell I'm real organized, guys. Let's get one out here. Let's get one of these. Here you go. Okay, there's a card. All right. All right, let's shrink that back. All right. Let's take Lou Krieger right here. And on Big Lou, right here, the spin lands on a 7-2 line. All right, lands right there. And Lou, a right-handed batter, the pitcher is a right-hander. The pitcher chooses the 2. Well, Lou's team decides that they would like to challenge that call, and so they do. They spin the event card. Whatever it lands on is their number. Suppose it lands on a 6. Okay. Then the team that is being challenged, the team who won the spin, spins on the event card. If that team spins equal to or greater than the challenger, the call on the field stands. It says it right there. If the challenger has a higher number, then the call on the field is overturned. Now, what I like to say is if the challenge, the person that gets challenged, the second spinner, beats the challenge, then the call on the field was correct. If he equals it, then you will say the call on the field stands. That would be like there's not enough evidence to overturn the call. And then if he loses, then the call on the field is overturned. That's pretty simple, guys. Pretty doggone simple right there. Okay? So you have instant replay and injuries using your event card. Now, something else that I like to use the event card, and I've got this on the House Rules and Strategy Manual that is still in the production stage. After a year and a half, we haven't finished it, but I use it to determine weather. Okay, so you spin this and it will tell you I have a weather chart. Now, let me get it out here for you real quick. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, you can tell I'm real organized, guys. Real organized. I do have my tablet sitting right here, so it is right here. All right, my weather chart. It states that on a 1, you got swirling wind, spin an error spin on F4, 8, or 18 in the fly ball. You always spin an error spin. Lands on an error, it's an error, even if it's 14, no matter when, even if nobody's on base. 2 is a light rain, does some cool stuff. 3 through 7, no effect. 8, wind blowing in on any 1 spin, even a modified 1 spin. Spin the event card. On the spin of a 1, it's caught on the warning track because the wind blew it back. Wind blowing out on the spin of a F8 or 4. Spin the event card on the spin of a 1, and it carries over the fence, and it's a home run. Just some crazy stuff that I add. And there's more, there's cold and stuff like that. So that's just stuff that the event card can be used for. So you can do all kinds of cool stuff with this event card. And the last thing I'm going to touch on the event card is this. Let's suppose, now you guys all know one of the rules, and it's in the rule book here, and I'm going to go back to the side-by-side view. Early in the rule book, it says, each player, let me get this bigger so you can see this. Each player determines the result of the spin on their respective spins. I call mine, you call yours, and we don't argue about that. We just have fun. So if I'm playing you and I see you looking over at my spinner, that means you don't trust me and we're not having a good time. We're playing a mistrust and you're doing everything you can to be a poor sport. Or same way if I look over at yours. You got to trust each other. It's a game, for crying out loud. It's a game. Okay? However, there's going to come time when you're going to get something that happens and it's not covered in the rule book. Or you can't find it in a timely manner in the rule book. And your opponent says it's this way and you say it's that way. We make it very simple. Spin the event card. Whoever gets the highest number makes the call. Pretty simple. If it's a tie on the event card, both of you spin again. That way, if you both have 12s, you can't, I spun a 12, you spun a 12, or I spun a 1 and you spun a 1. Both of you spin again. The winner makes the call. After that's over with, the game itself, you can look it up in the rule book and see if you can find it. And if you cannot, email either Dennis or Gentry, and we will tell you what the ruling is and show you where it is in the rule book. Much like a fellow in Indiana was playing a game, and his name's Robert Mansfield, great guy. Robert's a great, great guy. And he had a question on a play, and he played through the game with his interpretation of the rule. He's playing solo, so it's his own game, and he can do what he wants. And after the game, he put it out there on Facebook for everybody to see, which was fantastic. And his question was about the double H on the pitching card. And I'll go over that real quick because it is a rule here. Let's go back to this, and you go to double H. Now, Robert had spun the batter, and the batter had spun a 5, I think it was, on the batting card. And his pitcher had spun the double H. And Robert did not know this rule right off the top of his head, so he played that he could respin that. Well, as you can see, it says spin the batter. If the batter spins a 5 or an 11, the result becomes a 1. Okay, and we go back to the rules of the respin. Go back to big vertical. Rules of the respin. Right here. You may not use any player respin on any result of 1, even if that result was caused by modifying a 5 or 11 after the pitcher spins an HH. But my kudos, praises, compliments go out to Robert Mansfield for not stopping his game, playing through this, making the decision, and then after the game was over, getting in touch with us and then seeing what the ruling is. That's what I want you guys to do. Remember, the object of the game is to have a good time. Whatever it takes, have some fun with this game. And winning and losing is not everything in this game. We are privileged to be able to play an historical background game of a game. That's right. We are lucky to be able to play the game. So if you'll think of it that way and enjoy it that way, you'll have a lot more fun. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to our channel, guys. We sure would appreciate that. The more subscribers we get, the better the videos can become. It's Dengent Games, I believe, is the name of the channel. You can find me in there, Gentry in there. Give us a thumbs up or whatever it's called, a like. Share the video with your friends. We're selling more games now. I just printed up some more games, so we've got them ready, and we sure appreciate all of you guys. Warhammer World, WarhammerWorld @hotmail.com is my email, and you are welcome to email me. I'll be glad to talk to you on the phone after you email me. I will never again give my phone number out on one of these videos. I got hacked and I won't get hacked again. So guys, keep spinning. And remember what my good buddy up in New York, Gabriel, says, and we all love it. Dice are nice, but the spin is in. From the Cincinnati Razorback Room, I'm Dennis, your host, and this was another episode of Star Power Baseball.